Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR Today. It's Monday morning. It is July 20th, 2020. I'm the man they call Meathead, and we are coming off a big weekend again of pro wrestling action. We won't be talking any Slammiversary today, but we will be talking WWE Extreme Rules. And as every Monday morning comes around, we got the lovely Linda Kay with us. Morning, Linda.
Good morning, Meathead. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I'm working out my plans. I'm checking to see if the lobby is open at the old White Castle for this week, and it's not looking good. I might have to do a drive-through on that one.
Hey, whatever gets the job done.
Whatever gets the job done. Get that Craver case ready for me, White Castle. I want you to sponsor this segment is what I want. I want you to come and spend some money with PWR Today so we can talk about these White Castle sliders. I'm kidding, of course.
Go get some.
Make sure you're also heading on over and giving us a like and subscribe on all the, on all the social media outlets and all the ways that you listen to the podcast. I know you take us with you in the morning. Sometimes you're on the train. Sometimes you're in the car on the way to work. Whatever way you're listening to us, give us a like, a subscribe. Help us out. We're moving along. So we're getting bigger and we're getting better. Linda, you watched Extreme Rules last night, and I did as well. And, ad nauseum over the last 3+ weeks, probably, we've had to talk about this eye for an eye match that's coming up. We're going to talk more about the whole pay-per-view, and we'll go in order. But I'm telling you, I was not looking forward to Extreme Rules because of the eye for an eye. However, I was interested in Extreme Rules.
That was the match I was most looking forward to. Oho, oho. We got quite a match, and I know we'll get into the match more in a little bit here, but like you, I thoroughly enjoyed that match as well and had a little shock and awe, but overall, I did enjoy it. It did not disappoint.
Let's talk pre-show first. KO back wrestling because, the story that was out there on SportsIllustrated.com is that Kevin Owens had helped Vince McMahon through conversations with him institute a stricter penalty basis for the mask policy that they have with WWE, and that's what brought Kevin Owens back to come to work. Well, he starts off on the pre-show and he defeats Buddy Murphy in the kickoff match. Your thoughts on that match?
Well, it was all right to me. I mean, it was a good way to kick off Extreme Rules, I guess. But it was, with all the news with Kevin Owens this week about the mask mandates. I mean, you know what? Good for him. He did what he thought was right and something that would help, I don't want to say save the product, but definitely help move it along in a better way that would have a better result. Obviously more superstars or broadcasters or, backstage people have been getting sick despite what other precautions were already in place. So, nice to see him shine on top for this and see where they take KO next.
Maybe he starts to work again on the main show. Maybe he starts to work towards pay-per-views. Who knows? He's just coming back. But he's showing that he's a company guy and he's willing to work. And again, you can't hold any kind of grudge against him because he said, this is what I need to do and this is the safety I need to take. So big ups to Kevin Owens with the pre-show victory. Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura took on your boys, the New Day. And unfortunately, Linda Kay, they dropped the titles on the pay-per-view as it was Kofi, right, that went through both tables?
Right.
What an amazing spot, by the way.
Yeah. Really sad to have seen my boys, the New Day, lose their titles.
And on a pay-per-view.
Because,
know. You could be not in last place if not for that, but because they lost it, that was a loss and a title loss on a pay-per-view. Your winners and new tag team champions, the team of Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Remember that Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro were kind of put into this program with the New Day because of the actions, I guess, of the Forgotten Sons. Do you think the Forgotten Sons on this night would have become tag team champions?
I don't know. It's hard to say just because Forgotten Sons have kind of already been forgotten. I mean, we've seen the rivalry between Cesaro and Nakamura and the New Day that I thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, I went into tonight not knowing who would actually win. I mean, I was sad to see the New Day lose, but I kind of wasn't surprised because they have built this up nicely. It is nice to see Cesaro and Nakamura come off with something because they do pair off nicely. Granted, it was a weird I'll say weird. Obviously, they had their trio with Sami Zayn and whatnot, but given that happening, and then given what happened with the Forgotten Sons, it all just kind of meshed nicely. And like I was hoping, I mean, unfortunately, it was against the New Day because obviously they are on my draft team, and I am huge fans of the New Day. But it's nice to see the pairing of Cesaro and Nakamura come to fruition, and it was a great
recognized.
Match. Yeah, it was a clean finish too. And Kofi Kingston breaking 2 tables and just him on his own. It's not like Cesaro's feet or, like took some of the bump. It was just Kofi Kingston's back that took it. So it was sad to see, but we'll see what can happen with Cesaro and Nakamura because I know they're not on my draft team long time, but I do like them as a pair.
He kind of took a boom, boom, right through both of those tables. Sorry, pun intended on that one. Not that you're wishing that anybody gets injured, but maybe you need to pick up some new people now that your boys, the New Day, don't have the belts anymore. We'll have to see how that works out.
Yeah, they'll still stay the spotlight, so I still have faith in my boys.
Fair enough. All right. Yeah, I mean, and they made a really kind of a quiet, under the radar comment and commentary after the match. The New Day ends their 8th tag team championship reign tonight as the champions are. I'm like, wow, 8-time tag team champions. I mean, who's to say there isn't a 9th in there? So they kind of pointed that out.
Right. Or, when Xavier Woods comes back, there could be another shuffle in the tag team division as well.
Could be. SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley, the Karen, as Dave Hero calls her, the Karen of the WWE, defeats Nikki Cross. What a little shenanigans with the, what are they? I know it's her rings, but honestly, the Boss Knucks is what they should be called because they're like a pair of brass knucks.
Right. They were referring it to the Boss Ring, but, they cheat to win and it works in their favor. And, I figured there'd be some type of shenanigans. You've got to have some type of shenanigans if you've got their tag team partner or their manager or whatnot in their corner. I mean, we had Alexa Bliss out there. And you know what? They've been showing Alexa a lot lately. And I was kind of thinking, like, is she going to turn on Nikki? Like, I kind of thought that might happen for some reason. But it obviously didn't happen. Instead, we saw, the Boss Ring being used in the match and Bayley retaining. But I thought it was a good match. Nikki Cross has definitely built some momentum these past couple weeks or months. And, it's great to see her get her title shot. Her and Alexa are on my team as well, so it's nice to see them in the pay-per-view. One thing I will point out, though, and they use this in various matches throughout the night, but a lot of use of the camera behind the plexiglass, which I really can appreciate. I like that. That's something a little different. We saw a lot of times Nikki Cross's head hitting it, although we did see her hand stop it a little bit. So sometimes the angle helped in, showing the intensity of the move. But I don't know. It was a good match, and it didn't surprise me that they cheat to win. But we'll get to the other match later, which had a funky finish as well. But overall,
and it's ironic too. There was 2 like buckle bombs, is what I'll call them, but they were up against the plexiglass. I don't agree with Damian Nelson often. Damian did show up to PWR Today last Thursday morning, and him and I are in cahoots on this. The plexiglass on Raw, SmackDown, and their pay-per-views it's terrible. For some reason, it works in NXT because it's not as lit up on NXT as it is in Raw and SmackDown. But holy smokes, it's getting annoying. And the banging on the glass all night long, it's gotta stop.
I was gonna say it worked in some of the matches tonight just to get some more. Yeah, some in some moments, but
we try to suspend disbelief, right, when we watch wrestling. I mean, this is not just the COVID era. I'm talking about any era. When you watch wrestling, you suspend disbelief. You're supposed to. You're supposed to believe that the 2 competitors in the ring, or 4, or whatever, are looking to tear each other's heads off and win their competitive match. That's wrestling. I mean, that's wrestling in a nutshell. The fact that we know that those are NXT talents around the ring is not helping at all.
Yeah. We see the same talent, standing in the same spots.
Same talent, same shirt, same mask, same camera zoom in. Same.
They need to, if they're going to keep it this way, they need to shuffle them around a little bit as far as placement. Mix it up a little. It's
You know
time
what
to
wasn't
shake
the
things
same?
up. What was
Yeah,
that?
you know what wasn't the same? The eye for an eye match. The first
Oh,
time ever, honestly, that I've ever heard of an eye for an eye match. Seth Rollins does defeat Rey Mysterio, and while we led this podcast with me not wanting to see this match but wanting to see it because I needed to see the finish. I needed to see what kind of goofiness they were going to do.
right,
And
right.
again, I didn't like the end of it. I don't didn't want this. It just doesn't make any damn sense. They backed themselves into a corner with it. However, if you remove the eye stipulation from this match, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought Ray fought with passion. I thought Seth fought with passion. They were going hard and they were going fast. Your thoughts?
Right. It was, I mean, if you take out the eye part, if you don't
Oh, that
bring
was
in
a
the
pun
eye,
intended, right?
yeah. If you remove the eye stipulation in the match, it was great. It was pretty much like a weapons, hardcore, street fight, except no holds barred, etc. kind of match. Seeing the different weapons being used and the kendo stick used in different ways. Um, with it being the horror show, I figured there'd be some ways to incorporate horror into this match. I mean, the
You're
most.
not
I mean,
talking
yeah.
about Wisconsin Avenue horror. You're talking about like
No.
horror, like a movie.
Horror.
Okay.
Yeah,
Whew.
yeah. Horror. Yeah. So I liked how it was. The match was winding down. We have Ray remove his eye screen. I don't want to say eye patch, eye screen, and we saw what would be fake or damaged or eye kind of his already damaged eye. I'm like, oh, I was thinking, well, perhaps they used horror show makeup to incorporate this eye, because this whole time I'm still thinking like whose eyeball is going to get kind of like, I guess, taken out, quote unquote, like raised the first time. That's what I was picturing what would happen. Instead, they made his already messed up eye come out. So that was surprising. Once that screen got removed, it kind of got me thinking, maybe we're just going to get further damage on that eye. But I'm like, wait, they keep talking about how it's going to be removed from its socket, and it happened, ish, kind of. We kind of saw it happen, yeah. So obviously that's what did happen. We saw Seth Rollins get sick. We saw the crowd or our NXT talent, commentators, everybody just shock, silence, which is great. We want that. We need a lot of reaction, and we definitely got a reaction to that match. And how we've all, like, everybody on our show has discussed how are they going to get out of this? Like, they kind of back them up in a corner, like someone's eyeball is going to get taken out. Well, they made it work because technically, or it did, I guess. And then they later on had Charlie Caruso get a report from the doctor that there was damage, but there's still a chance.
She spell it out too? I mean, literally, either she spelled it out, and you know what I did when she was talking? I was watching her eyes because I had to know, is she reading off a screen or did she memorize that? I didn't. Either she's such a pro, I didn't see her eyes move, or she memorized that, because she did a great job of spitting out, honestly, 2 minutes worth of medical information. I thought she was amazing.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever get an eye for an eye match again. Hopefully not.
I don't want one.
Yeah,
if I could put my vote in.
Like, yeah. I guess if we're gonna have an eye for an eye match, it would be at a pay-per-view, the horror show. So it worked out, but not what's next. Obviously, Ray's gonna be gone for a while.
That's
But
cool.
for Seth Rollins, well, yeah, but
that's fine. I mean, Dominic can come wrestle in his place.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, okay, we have SummerSlam coming up. Now I'm just wondering who Seth is going to be working with leading up to that next huge pay-per-view.
Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah. That's my assumption too. But
that's where that goes. Yeah. Not that I want to watch that match either, however. All right. Yeah. The Raw Women's title match. So Damian Nelson kind of outed me on Thursday morning as the man behind the curtain, the Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe in the PWR draft. Yes, I'm the one that kind of sets it up. Here's how I scored this. It was a title defense for Auska, but no win officially because Bayley's not a referee. And Bayley can't just put on a shirt and count a 1, 2, 3. Sasha is not the champion. However, it's unofficial. I mean, if they come tomorrow night and say the powers that be in WWE now declare Bayley as the champion, then, well, Bayley's champion and we'll adjust the points accordingly. But it ends up being, to me, officially, it's going to end up being a no contest. Your thoughts on... I really wanted to see this match. I think Sasha's been amazing the last 6 months, and Auska, while she's very energetic and she, really doing what she does, and nobody's ready for Auska now. I thought this match, as great as it was, deserved a better ending.
Right. All the matches we've seen the last few weeks, they've been kind of mixing up the singles matches with Bayley and Auska, and then we had the tag match with Kairi, Auska, and then Bayley and Sasha on Raw, and all those matches were phenomenal. So tonight's was great, and I was hoping for some type of payoff as well. I was, I do love Auska as the champion because she's great all around, but it would have been nice to have seen Sasha get the title as well, just because this gives us an opportunity for the two hottest female talents right now in WWE to really reign supreme, having all the titles. It was an opportunity for it to happen, but instead it was a no contest, even though Bayley said she won it, and it looks like Sasha does have the belt for now. But I guess we'll just have to see how it plays out on Raw tonight, but would we just get a rematch?
I don't know. And, I want to ask you this too, and I kind of skipped over it, but I was going to come back to it at this point. Do you think it's kind of lazy that they had technically the same finishes to matches, one a match and one not a match? Because MVP declares himself the new United States champion as well, and now Sasha's declaring herself the new women's champion of Raw. That's a little lazy, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, if that could always have been done, I don't know why not as many people have done it yet.
And why on the same night, within an hour of each other?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
This is where, and the power authority figure on shows can be overbearing at times. This is where a show needs that authority figure. NXT still has William Regal. However, Raw and SmackDown don't really have anybody right now.
That's a really great point.
So, who knows? WWE Champion Drew McIntyre defeats Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler, I'm thinking about what kind of stipulation could he make, because he said it's going to be one that's never happened before. The only thing I could think of that would have been better than the one that he really came up with is a stipulation called Dolph Ziggler wins match. That's what I thought he could come up with. But, I mean, he pretty much made it a Dolph Ziggler wins match, and he lost it.
Right. I mean, the way he introduced it, just making it an Extreme Rules for a Dolph Ziggler only match.
Yeah.
I don't know. The way it was presented, I didn't really like it. It wasn't too exciting, if you will. But the match itself was okay as well. I mean, it was different. It was a first, I guess. But I don't know.
I'm telling you, if I get the chance to name a stipulation, it's that I'm never going to lose this match. I can't lose this match.
Right. But, yeah, it wasn't too surprising that he lost in the end. So, I don't know. I think they need to
There was no doubt that Drew McIntyre was coming away with the belt. The last, we'll say match, but really the last event of the night, because it wasn't a match. The Fiend Bray Wyatt resurfaces in the bizarre swamp fight. Now, the coolest thing that's happened this entire night, last night during Extreme Rules, was about halfway through. Now, Linda unfortunately didn't get extra, appearance points for her because she was already on the show. But the voice in the background, you said you called that out, huh?
Yeah. She was saying his name, and I was like, that sounds like Alexa. And lo and behold, we see her in this swamp fight acid trip again. We'll hear from Dave Hero this week, obviously, and we'll talk to Dave Hero tomorrow morning. But the cinematic era in the COVID era, this was a cinematic match, however. Yeah.
Really, I still think that the bar is set with Undertaker and Styles because it was a fight, right? They had a good fight. Whatever this was more along the lines of what Wyatt Cena or Fiend Cena was at WrestleMania, which I didn't hate. This, I hated it. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, I mean, I even said it to myself out loud. Where's the wrestling? Like it was
There's too
called
much
the Swamp
talking.
Fight. Yeah, it was called the Swamp Fight. So I was hoping to see a little bit more fighting. We didn't need to have, the guy on fire, the serpent bite. I mean, that kind of led into what was it a nightmare or was it actually happening?
I don't know, but I did watch the resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts a couple days ago, so that's where I was going with that.
Yeah, okay. I can see that, definitely.
Because Jake
But
Macho Man let Jake put the snake on him. Remember that? The snake
yeah.
actually bit Macho.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So, yeah.
but
I don't know. It was very horror movie, so there we go.
I loved Alexa. You know what?
Yeah.
I absolutely loved Alexa. She was amazing in it, and that really kind of caught me off guard in a good way. And
Hmm.
if there's anything else to do with that, I'd love to see how it goes. I really would. I would be in for that.
Yeah. And the way it ended, like it was kind of reminiscent to Friday the 13th, him coming out of the water like Jason, and
Yeah,
then it
yeah.
became the Fiend. Okay, what's next?
So here's the thing I noticed at the end, and we're almost out of time here, but I got to
Mhm.
say this. Even WWE's editors wanted it to go. Did you see the Extreme Rules bug come
I
up on the
did.
screen about 2 minutes before the show was over?
I did. And I was like, oh, okay, that's how it's
Yeah.
gonna end. And then
No,
nope.
they wanted to end. Oh, God. It's like them saying, is this over? Can it be over? And then Braun saying, is it over? No, it's not over yet.
Ah,
We're in a sad time. I mean,
yeah.
when the editors of the program themselves are trying to end it before it's over. I considered Bray Wyatt the winner because he was the last one shown as the Fiend. So Dave ended up getting win points for that, even though he has Braun and Bray. So it doesn't make a difference. But
Yeah. Well, in the end, I was entertained, and it is sports entertainment, right?
it is sports entertainment. Let's talk about PWR draft real quick before we get out of here. Um, Again, kind of like Cheech in Still Smoking, I feel like I need to handicap myself because it's not fair to the other four people in this competition, Linda. I feel bad. I really do feel bad.
It ain't over till it's over. That's all I gotta
I
say.
know, but I keep winning week after week. 205 points out of this pay-per-view for myself, almost doubling the next person at Dave Hero at 110. Damian Nelson scoring 65 for the pay-per-view. Linda, you scored 35. You lost a lot of points on the New Day losing theirs. And unfortunately, Andrew Baydala had no one participating. He has got two people injured on his list that he is still not ready to pull the trigger on and get up to date. So the new totals. I am leading now 940 points in a very distant second. Dave Hero at 610. In third place, Damian Nelson. Listen to that again, folks. The man not in last place is Damian Nelson at 550 points. He is not in last, but tied for last. Andrew Baydala now, along with Linda Kay. Linda, I know it's a marathon. I know it's not a sprint. However, it's like the story just keeps getting repeated over and over and over. I need you guys to catch up.
Well, maybe some of the talent on my team can just declare themselves winners and champions like we've been seeing. Like we saw twice
Apparently,
tonight, like what Taz did with Brian Cage. We're just gonna throw a belt on
yeah.
them.
Even
There you
though
go.
it's not a recognized belt for points. So NXT Takeover looks like it's going to be the next show. I believe they're doing a takeover before SummerSlam. That's an assumption. If
Mhm.
Takeover's not there, then it'll be WWE SummerSlam will be the next points worthy event. So, Linda, final parting shots before we send everybody off to work and on to their day.
Maybe we'll get romantic comedy SummerSlam.
Romantic comedy SummerSlam, rom-com SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we had a horror show, so I mean, you want to go rom-com. Honestly, rom-com and horror show were never my things growing up. I mean, you guys know Meathead well enough, and Linda, I think you know me well enough. You know what I want, right? Give
Uh,
me a Revenge of the
to-
Nerds,
I was gonna
Porky's
toilet humor. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
toilet humor. That's what I want.
Animal House.
Give me
I'll take
something
it.
poop related.
Yeah.
Well, for Linda Kay, I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.